The death of a world leader is always an event that reverberates for decades. But when it comes to someone like Pope Francis, the issue goes far beyond a simple farewell. A spiritual leader who influenced millions around the world. But is what he left behind enough to ensure the future of the Catholic Church? And the most intriguing question, who could replace Pope Francis? This is the big question many are asking now, after the death that shook the foundations of the Church. What will happen to the Vatican? Who will be chosen to inherit this historical responsibility and, at the same time, bear the challenges of leading one of the oldest and most powerful institutions on the planet? But don't be mistaken, the answer is not simple. The future of the Catholic Church is now in the hands of a select group of cardinals, and the weight of the choice has never been greater. The whole world eagerly awaits this decision, and everyone's eyes are turning to the next conclave. But what will be the fate of the Church? And who are the real favorites to take Pope Francis' place? Today, we will learn more about who he was and who could succeed him. Get ready, because the future of the Catholic Church is starting to be written now. On March 13th, 2013, the world was in shock. The Argentine Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio, then Archbishop of Buenos Aires, was chosen as the 266th Pope of the Catholic Church. But what he did next was a true revolution. Upon being elected, he chose the name Francis in honor of Saint Francis of Assisi, the saint of poverty and humility. And right from the start, he did something no one expected. He left the Vatican stage and went to greet the people, holding hands with the faithful, something unprecedented for a newly elected pope. This gesture wasn't just symbolic. He was telling the world, I am a pope for the people. And this was just the beginning. Soon after, Francis shocked everyone by opening the doors of the Vatican to the poorest. He made a symbolic act in which he washed the feet of prisoners, including women and Muslims, breaking a centuries-old tradition within the Church. He was in favor of those no one imagined a pope would support: minorities, the marginalized, the poor. The Church was, suddenly, connecting with what was really happening on the streets of the world. But his story began much earlier than becoming pope. Jorge Bergoglio was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1936 to a family of Italian immigrants. From a young age, Bergoglio devoted himself to religious life. But what no one imagined was that he would become one of the most important leaders of the Church. His trajectory as a Jesuit and Archbishop in Buenos Aires was not easy. He faced resistance, political challenges, and even internal criticism. But his vision of a church closer to the people never wavered. During his time as Archbishop, Bergoglio became known for his work with the poor and oppressed in Argentina. He was a true grassroots leader, always seeking inclusion, social justice, and peace, while challenging the more traditional and rigid structures of the Church. He wasn't afraid to criticize politicians or even other church members when he saw they were out of alignment with Christian values. But then, how did an Argentine cardinal reach the top of the Catholic Church? It all happened quickly. When Pope Benedict XVI announced his resignation in 2013, the Catholic Church found itself facing a power vacuum. Many thought a European pope would be next. But Cardinal Bergoglio, with his moderate profile and his history of working directly with the people, was chosen. And when he appeared before the world for the first time as Pope Francis, it was clear that something once again had changed. Francis wasn't interested in maintaining traditions for tradition's sake. He wanted a church closer to reality. That's why, early in his papacy, he took bold actions. He cut the luxury of the Vatican, abolished some privileges of the cardinals, and sought ways to make the church more transparent. He wasn't afraid to confront the church from within, and that made him beloved by many, but also criticized by others. In his years at the helm of the church, Francis faced a mountain of challenges, from the fight against sexual abuse within the church to the delicate balance between modernizing the church and preserving its traditions. But he never lost focus. He wanted the church to be a place of welcome and mercy, not condemnation. And then, in 2025, with his death, the question that lingers is, what did he leave behind? Pope Francis challenged all norms, but did he manage to prepare the church for the era that lies ahead? Because one thing is certain, his story and his choices will continue to be debated, remembered, and analyzed for many years to come. In 2025, the world received the news no one expected. Pope Francis passed away. His death was not just a spiritual loss, but the end of an era that revolutionized the Catholic Church. His vision of a more inclusive church left an indelible mark. Now, with his absence, the big question is, who can succeed him? The choice of the next pope is not just about who will occupy the position, but about which direction the church will take. Francis left a legacy of reform, but will the next leader be able to stay on course? Or will the church return to its more conservative roots? This is the decisive moment. The Catholic Church, now at a crossroads, needs a new leader who will either continue Francis' work or take it in a new direction. The choice of the next pope has never been more crucial, as the decision will shape the future of the church for years to come. Who will be able to face the global challenges and maintain the unity of the church? And this is where the story of who will succeed Francis begins to unfold. After all, who are the names that could define the future of the Catholic Church? Let's get to know the top candidates and what they represent for the Church in the current global scenario. Pietro Parolin, current Secretary of State of the Vatican, is one of the strongest candidates. With a solid career in diplomacy and a pragmatic view of global challenges, he represents the stability of the Church. Parolin is seen as someone capable of maintaining the continuity of Pope Francis' papacy, focusing on international diplomacy and preserving the unity of the Church. But is he the man to bring the Church into modern times, or will he continue with traditional methods? Matteo Zuppi, Archbishop of Bologna, gained international prominence for his mediation work in the Mozambique War. Known for his progressive stance, Zuppi is also a strong advocate for LGBT rights and social issues. He represents the possibility of a more inclusive church open to the modern world. But will his vision of rapid and profound changes within the church be accepted by all cardinals? And does he have the strength to maintain the unity of the church in such a polarized global scenario? Pierbattista Pizzaballa, Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, is one of the most respected names in the Middle East, especially due to his courageous stance during the Israeli-Palestinian conflicts. He not only offered himself as a hostage during an attack, but has also been a strong advocate for peace and solidarity among different religions. Pizzaballa brings the experience of a leader who has dealt with international crises. Will his humanitarian leadership be enough to deal with the internal complexities of the Vatican? Luis Antonio Tagle, Archbishop of Manila, is an important name, not only for his leadership in the Philippines, but also for representing the growing Catholicism in Asia. Tagle is seen as a figure of unity, capable of balancing Catholic tradition with modern challenges like poverty and social inequalities. His Asian representation also brings a new global perspective to the Church, reflecting the shift in the center of the Catholic faith, which is increasingly in Asia. Will Tagle be able to maintain the balance between Western and Eastern Catholics? Robert Serra, Archbishop of Conakry, Guinea, has stood out as one of the Church's most conservative cardinals. His emphasis on traditional liturgy and his firm stance on moral issues make him a polarizing figure. He represents a church more focused on preserving its traditions, especially in a moment of growing pressure for change. But will his more rigid vision be what the church needs now? Or will he be walking against the wave of transformation that the church faced under Pope Francis's papacy? The Catholic Church is at a crucial juncture. With the challenges ahead, who will be the next pope capable of following in Francis' legacy or changing the direction of the church? Each candidate brings a unique vision, and the choice will be historic. The future of the church will be decided soon during the conclave that will begin on May 7th, 2025 at the Vatican. The impact of this decision will not only affect Catholics, but everyone. Who will be chosen? The answer, without a doubt, will define the next chapter of the Catholic Church. Stay tuned, because soon we will know who will take on the leadership of one of the most important institutions in the world. And you, what did you think of this analysis of the candidates? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any updates on the conclave. God bless you.